Well, this next story I didn't necessarily plan to talk about, but it's going to be a heated issue in the weeks ahead, I would imagine, and it's the type of rhetoric that's being used to, I guess, go against some political opponents in a recent election. And, of course, Tuesday we had the Springfield municipal elections, where we just talked with Misty Buscher. She's the projected winner. Of course, they got to certify all the votes and all of that, but considered mayor-elect heading into the office, replacing incumbent Mayor Jim Langfelder. But some of the rhetoric that was brought up throughout, I think, is important to talk about because of how inflammatory some people feel it is, and it's led to a lawsuit. So I want to go ahead and turn to this really quick. Just getting this in front of me, so we're going to kind of review it together here. But it's a lawsuit in Sangamon County, and it's from Laborers Local 477, Brad Shivey, against the East Side Democratic Political Action Committee and two individuals named William Bishop III and Roy Williams Jr. Roy Williams is a sitting alderperson. So the complaint goes through and talks about how the plaintiffs are the Laborers Local and also Brad Shivey. They're seeking damages arising from the egregious conduct, I'm reading from the lawsuit here, of defendants, East Side Democratic Political Action Committee, William Bishop III and Roy Williams Jr. by posting statements on Facebook about plaintiffs, Laborers Local 477 and Brad Shivey that are false and defamatory. As to plaintiffs Brad Shivey, the defendant's conduct constitutes the following intentional torts: placing Shivey in a false light, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and defamation libel per se. Then you go through and you see some of the other parties involved here, explaining who they are. But then also the common factual allegations, and they say, and they spell this out, the East Side Political Action Committee maintains a profile on Facebook. Upon information and belief, defendants Bishop and Williams, as officers of the defendant East Side PAC, they operate, maintain, and control the PAC, the Political Action Committee. Goes on with more factual analysis and points that are being made. And then they talk about the false light of Brad Shivey against the defendants. This is some of the allegations they're making. Shivey alleges the various things that have already been said, but also that the defendants posted on Facebook and elsewhere that Shivey is a grand wizard or affiliated with the Ku Klux Klan. Shivey maintains an anti-black contractors agenda. These are the allegations Shivey says the defendants made, and he's seeking some redress here. Shivey intimidates apprentices and forces them to do political work. Shivey operates Local 477 as a modern-day slave master. Shivey runs Local 477 like a modern-day slave plantation full of intimidation and racism. Shivey is a Proud Boy, or a member affiliated with the Proud Boys, which has been labeled an extremist group by the Federal Bureau of Investigations with ties to nationalism, who supported the known insurrection at January 6th. The above described false lights are of such a nature to be highly offensive to a reasonable person. Then it goes on to even provide some more witness testimony and other evidence, and they're ultimately even sharing various things that they shared on their Facebook page. MAGA Misty never. The allegation here is, with some evidence, gloves off, you MAGA-funded unions in Sangamon County next. We coming, it says. And then it goes on to even show a different type of flyer made that Local 477, they say, supports MAGA Republicans, anti-black contractors agenda, intimidation of apprentices, anti-black man agenda, modern-day slave master. So this is obviously something that's now in the courts with Brad Shivey and the local laborers union suing a sitting alderperson who did win re-election, and another individual who is a local business owner, and them putting out some pretty heated rhetoric in the election cycle. And this type of thing, we always push back against political violence. These types of words can be considered a form of hate speech in a way, and definitely defamatory. And that's why it's being brought up in court now as a serious issue. If we're going to have, civil political discourse, you would imagine that this is something that all sides have to push back against. And the moniker of racism being thrown out anytime you disagree with somebody, it does real damage, and can even diminish somebody's ability to operate their livelihoods. And you see this a lot, where even members of the press may throw these types of words around about national figures, and just throw it around as so-and-so's a racist. I mean, how many times have you heard Donald Trump's a racist? People just throw it around like it's nothing to worry about. It's a word. It's like I'm breathing, whatever. But it does have some significant consequence. And when you see it on a localized level like this, obviously it rose to the issue of being brought up in a court case. So this is going to be an interesting one to follow. Again, it's in Sangamon County Court. If you're interested in looking it up, it's 2023 LA71. All right, that's the case number, and you can search the docket and find out all the latest you need to know about this. But this was filed just a few days ago at the Sangamon County Circuit Court. So we'll monitor that and see exactly where this case ultimately